is AFRICUNIA television news update reaching you from the nation's commercial capital, Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Deborah Ezeh. Many thanks for joining me. Looking into the African scene today, we begin from Nigeria, where Pan-Yoruba socio-political group, Afenifere, and other major socio-political groups in different parts of the country, including Pan-Niger Delta Forum and Middle Belt Forum, MBF, have called on Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, former Lagos Governor Bola Tinubu, and other Southwest aspirants to withdraw from the 2023 presidential race, insisting it is the turn of Southeast to produce president. The call is coming as political parties set for their primaries ahead of the 2023 general election. The call by the prominent socio-political groups reflects the sentiment in the country, which increasingly favors the emergence of a president of Igbo extraction. Afenifere, PANDEF, and Middle Belt Forum insisted the Southeast should produce the President of Nigeria in 2023 for equity, justice, and fairness. The groups maintained that if the political class and the retired military generals could concede the presidency to the Yoruba in 1999, the same approach could be adopted to microzone power to the Igbos. And still in Nigeria, one of the two pregnant women among the passengers kidnapped during last month's attack on a Kaduna-bound train by terrorists has been delivered of a baby. Also, the terrorists who attacked and abducted the passengers have released 4 different pictures of their victims, numbering 62. Sources said the terrorists are organized and coordinated because of the way they were able to get medical supplies into the forest, a development they describe as still shocking to both government and security operatives. 4 photos released by the terrorists showed that the kidnapped victims in 4 groups, the first showing 23 persons including 5 children and 18 women. In the second image, 17 men including a man who looked like an Indian were seen, while the third photograph showed 6 of the victims in sitting positions with a bandage wrapped in one of the victims' right leg. The fourth image depicted another group of 16 men in a sitting position. Moving on, the Speaker of Somalia Senate, Abdi Hashi has been reflected or re-elected in a vote held in the country's capital, Mogadishu, on Tuesday. For many, the re-election is a test of the veteran political ability to retain control of the upper house of the parliament. Abdullah's appointment brings the country very close to beginning its general elections to elect the president to lead the arm of the African states for the next 5 years. However, this would be after voting to choose the Speaker of the 275-member lower house, the Chamber of Parliament, which wields more power and influence in Somalia. The lower house is also scheduled to hold the elections of their Speaker and 2 deputies tomorrow. Still on the African scene, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, has reported a second Ebola-related death in the northwestern part of the country after declaring a new Ebola outbreak over the weekend. The outbreak is the 14th after one confirmed case was reported on Saturday in Mbandaka, a city in DRC Equatorial Province. The World Health Organization (WHO) says the second fatality was a female relative of the first case. On Monday, health authorities said more than 100 people had been identified as soon as contact, and a vaccine was expected to be rolled out this week. Samples analyzed at the main laboratory in Kinshasa show that the new outbreak is not linked to previous ones, including one that ended 2 years ago, which caused more than 2,000 deaths. Authorities in the country says some 1,300 vaccines are scheduled to be flown from Goma in the eastern part of the country to Mbandaka, and vaccination exercise will begin on Wednesday as investigations are ongoing to determine the source of the new outbreak. Meanwhile, the Zimbabwe Anti-Corruption Commission, ZAC, said it was going after officials at the Zimbabwe Revenue Authority on Monday, who it accuses for refueling corruption at the country's borders. The anti-graft body said the country's border had become enablers of high-level criminal activities, including drug trafficking, livestock theft, money laundering, and smuggling of minerals, which it says is costing the country about $1.8 billion per annum in the illicit financial flows. ZAC has lately been targeting cross-border transporters to stop rampant smuggling of goods and human trafficking. The sting operation has angered transport operators who feel they were being unfairly treated. Speaking during the official opening of the capacity building workshop on financial investigation and asset recovery, facilitated by the International Center for Asset Recovery, ZAC chairperson Lois Matanda Moyo said they were targeting the taxmen and other law enforcement agencies for abetting corruption at the borders. According to Matanda Moyo, all assets seized will be forfeited to the state. She, however, bemoaned the lack of skill among law enforcement agents to help fight graft. We now head to the foreign scene. Russia gas supplies to Poland under the Yamal contract altered briefly on Wednesday. Data from the European Union gas transmission operators showed, raising fears Russia may cut supplies to Ukraine's ally in what it calls gas blackmail. Both Poland and Bulgaria had earlier said Russia would stop supplying gas on Wednesday to the two NATO and EU members amid deepening the rift between Europe and Russia over its invasion of Ukraine. Ukraine has accused Russia of blackmailing Europe over energy in an attempt to break its allies as fighting heads into a third month without Russia capturing a major city. Staunch Kremlin opponents Poland is among the European countries seeking the toughest sanction against Russia for invading its neighbor. The European Union network of gas transmission operators said gas to Poland was cut briefly but lately restored an edge up after dropping to zero. And in Beijing, the second round of COVID-19 testing in Beijing's largest district began on Wednesday with this week's campaign to screen most of the Chinese capital, 22 million residents so far, detecting less than 3 dozen new infections a day. Beijing residents have rushed to stock up on food and other supplies as the city races to stop a nascent outbreak and advance a city-wide lockdown like that which has paralyzed Shanghai for the past month, leaving some in the Chinese commercial hub of 25 million venting extreme frustration. Authorities in the capital have so far focused on early mass testing, whereas Shanghai waited for about a month before launching a city-wide screening campaign. It was unclear what percentage of those tests led to the detection of Beijing's 31 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday compared with the previous day, 33. No deaths have been recorded so far. Still on the foreign scene, a suspected female suicide bomber killed 3 Chinese teachers in Karachi on Tuesday. Police and officials said, drawing strong condemnation from Beijing in the first major attack this year against nationals of longtime ally China working in Pakistan. The 3 were among passengers on a minibus returning to Karachi University after a lunch break when the bomb exploded at the entrance to the university's Confucius Institute, killing the Chinese teacher and a Pakistani national. A separatist group, the Baloch Liberation Army, based in southwestern Balochistan province, bordering Afghanistan and Iran, claimed responsibility for the blast, adding in an email the attack was carried out by a woman suicide bomber. It shared in the email a photo of her clad in a long shawl sitting with 2 children. The photo could not be verified independently by police or other officials, and China's foreign ministry strongly condemned the attack and demanded Pakistan punish the perpetrators, protect Chinese citizens, and prevent such incidents from happening again. Away from the foreign scene onto the sports scene, Karim Benzema explains his mental confidence behind taking a Panenka penalty, whilst Pep Guardiola says Man City won't hold back in the second leg. A breathtaking game packed with chances and moments of individual brilliance was a treat for those watching, but left City, who had the better of the game with the slenderest of leads, to defend at the Santiago next Wednesday. Benzema said, "I always have it in my head that if you don't take a penalty, you will never miss a penalty. That mental confidence, and that's all. I have a lot of confidence in myself, so I do it and it turns out well." And finally, Nigeria's Samuel Chukwuwze is finally flying again with Spanish club Villarreal after an injury-hit spell and is looking to cause another upset after downing one of his Europe elites. Earlier this month, the 22-year-old scored a late winner as Villarreal stunned Bayern Munich 2-1 on aggregate to reach the semi-finals of the continent's Premier Club competition for the first time in 16 years. Now he has the side set on another member of the elite as the Yellow Submarine faced 6-time European champions Liverpool in the semi-finals. Chukwuwze credits overcoming the hurdle to the fraternal atmosphere at the club, as well as the personal touch Emery has brought to his recovery. And it's a wrap on AFRICUNIA Television News Update today. Do ensure to follow all our social media platforms on Jointim, Pangram, Instagram, and on Facebook in their respective order to stay connected and up to date with the news and other programs bulletin. Visit our website on www.africunia.tv and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, I am Deborah Ezeh. Bye for now.